Big bucks, great hunts. Hi, I'm Bill Jordan, and I want to introduce you to the new and exciting Realtree Hardwoods camo pattern. This pattern is so 3D, it makes you feel that you can reach right through it. Hardwoods was designed to be used year-round for all types of hunting. Whether you hunt from hardwoods in the east, cottonwoods in the Midwest, from the ground, up close at 20 yards, or out to 200 yards, this pattern will work for you. Ask for Realtree Hardwoods, the pattern that makes you feel that you can reach right through it. Available at your local sporting goods dealer.
Jim Shockey presents 2 more action-packed high-adventure hunting videos. Jim Shockey's Hunting Adventures, featuring 11 successful hunts, monster whitetail bucks, spot and stalk giant Vancouver Island black bear, plus home video from across Canada, moose, Dall sheep, grizzly, Jim's own world record wild bison hunt in the Yukon, and much more. Jim Shockey's Hunting Adventures. And Shockey's Secrets. Gain 30 years of giant whitetail hunting experience in 100 minutes, featuring spectacular 100% bear chase hunting footage of some of the biggest bucks you'll ever see. Learn Jim's time-tested techniques for stalking, rattling, and tracking giant Canadian whitetails. Shockey's Secrets is start to finish some of the best whitetail hunting information and action ever captured on videotape. Jim Shockey's Hunting Adventures and Shockey's Secrets. Order both and save.
The following is a Realtree outdoor production.
Camo golf cart.
You know, I was wondering where you got one. I thought it was a 4-wheeler, but I was going to use it up in Saskatchewan.
You know, you're from Canada, but we like to turkey hunt, and these camo golf carts do a great job down here.
Well, we also like to golf. I bet you they're good at that too.
I tell you, not all bad. Raised tires and everything. Hi, folks. I'm Bill Jordan, and welcome to Realtree's Home Video. You know, last year, if you saw our home video segment on our video, we had a lot of incredible footage, and this year is no different. And I'm standing alongside my sidekick today, Jim Shockey from Canada. And Jim, once again, we've assembled a lot of great footage.
Oh yeah. After last year's video, I thought, that's tough to beat. I think we did it this year. We had a lot of video sent in by the viewers, and incredible. It's at least as good as last year. It may be better. There's some impressive segments.
You know, one thing I think really amazes me, you know, we always talk about this with our Realtree cameras. We always have 8, 9, 10 cameras out in the field, but literally you're taking a lot of folks out there in the field with their home video cameras, literally by the thousands, and they get some great footage.
Yeah, we said it last year. I mean, it's an army of cameramen out there, where how many can we have? 10 cameras at any given time?
Right.
There's thousands out there every day during the hunting season and pre-season as well. You'll see some of the footage of what they've done.
You know, what's really incredible is, you know, we go out and we get all these footage for our television shows and our videos, but it really gives these people a way to participate, you know, in our videos, which we certainly appreciate these folks sending in all this great footage. And, you know, you were telling me earlier we got a lot of big bucks, but you even have some other things that's going to interest me as well.
Oh yeah, well, big bucks, that's an understatement too. We've got an Illinois non-typical that, my goodness, I mean, we'd have to arm wrestle for that one to see if we get a shot.
You know how I like whitetails.
Oh yeah, but there is a lot of big buck footage, but there's also some a turkey that's a little confused. It's kind of a humorous situation. A couple of bear segments one is frightening. You'll watch that, and I don't know if you remember last year we had a moose hunt with an archer. Wait till you see the moose hunt this year. I mean, last year was spectacular. This one is I've never seen any footage like that. It's amazing.
You know, you were telling me too, you know, being a whitetail guy, you have a lot of bucks doing this right there, don't we?
We sure do, yeah.
A lot of fighting.
This year we had a lot of footage sent in of bucks fighting. Right off the bat, we're going to go up to Saskatchewan and look at some footage taken in the snow, of course, of two huge bucks locked up, and how these guys that found them managed to get them apart. It's pretty wild footage.
Well, let's do this. Let's drive around. I'm going to show you some of the property, and you folks stay tuned. Some exciting action, and we'll be right back with you. Let's go take a ride.
Yeah, that sounds great. First off, look at the size of these two bucks. Both of these are trophy animals. Philip Hewitt is the person who videotaped this, and the story behind it is quite interesting. Philip is from Carlisle, Saskatchewan, and this footage was taken the day after the hunting season. Of course, where are all these bucks during the hunting season? But Philip had gone to the local big buck night where all the guys brought their bucks in to get measured, and he took his video camera, thank goodness too. It was in the middle of this measuring when the phone rang, and it was a local farmer asking if anyone there might be interested in seeing two big bucks locked up in his field. Well, Dahoy, of course, everyone wants to come down there. And they did. They went down there in their civilian clothes, and look at this. Look at the snow falling on their backs. I mean, these bucks went at it for an hour and 15 minutes before Philip and his friends figured out a way that they could get them apart. And it is quite a novel solution to a difficult problem. Look at this. Watch what they do. You see, one of the guys had a lariat, so they roped the bucks, and the bucks by this time had also got themselves pretty tangled up in this fence as well. And look, one of the guys had a chainsaw, so here he comes. Well, you know, the one buck's all tied up. He's not too impressed. I mean, neither one is impressed. They're going to lose their antlers. Watch this. Look how close this comes to this buck's nose. How'd you like that? There goes one of them. The other one, look at him breathing. He's had a tough time here. They unhook the rope. And watch what happens. Amazing footage. We're actually staying in Saskatchewan for this next bit of footage. It was sent in by Ron Colburn, and he was videotaping his son and another youngster on a mule deer hunt. Quite an impressive mule deer hunt. And watch the shot this young guy makes.
If you get a shot, shoot, yeah.
Oh, you saw the first one. That was a complete miss. He shot in front of it. Wait for the second shot now.
Oh, nice shot!
That's amazing. Did you see the shot? I mean, this is a 13-year-old youngster. I know I can't shoot that good. I wish I could. And it's his first buck. Really fabulous footage.
See how he is.
What?
Go see how he is, Mitch. Go see how he is. Mitch just made a real nice shot. Put 200 yards laying down. Got himself his first buck. Oh, Mitch just got his first mule deer buck. Made a real nice shot. 200 yards.
That footage was so impressive. I think we better take a second look at that. Let's watch this in slow motion.
He shot in front of him. Oh, nice shot! Here we have two young hunters, Mitch Marak with his first mule deer buck. Big smile, Mitch.
That's one proud little hunter. I'm going to show you another one now. This is Ron's own son, Jeffrey. Look at how wide this buck is. I mean, I'd be thrilled at that, and I'm not 13. I'm 22. Okay, so maybe I'm not 22 anymore. Maybe I'm twice that. Let's pick up the action. Let's watch these kids. They're pretty long shooting for youngsters.
Hit him in the front shoulders again. Easy. Take your time, Jeffrey. He's not going nowhere. You got him. Pretty nice buck, eh, Jeffrey?
Yeah.
What do you think you'd score?
150s.
Made a nice shot at him about 200 yards. He was standing. He just came over the hill there. Lift up his head, bud. Watch that horn, though. Yeah, they're really good kids to take hunting, these four.
That's a pretty wild looking bunch, those four.
Mule deer buck.
Hey, take your camera too. Next time your child goes out, you might just catch them on video getting their first big buck. Or you might capture something like this. We're up in Glasland, Saskatchewan with Patrick Delorme. He's a guide with Northway Outfitters, a fabulous outfit, by the way. He had just dropped off his 2 hunters up in the fringe bush country. Now, you're not allowed to hunt down, non-residents are not allowed to hunt down in the farm country where these 2 bucks are. And Patrick had dropped his hunters off and was coming back early in the morning when he noticed these 2 monster bucks out in this field locked up. Look at them going at it. Fortunately, he had his video camera along and left his truck to go get closer to these bucks. Look, you can see he's walking up to him now, getting closer. And thank goodness he does. You'll know why in a while. The one buck, it's pretty interesting. The one buck looks to me like he's doing Muhammad Ali's old rope-a-dope technique. He's letting that other younger one pull him all over the darn field. These bucks would weigh somewhere in the 300, 350 pound range. They're monstrous animals, and to look at the power it takes to lift something like that off the ground and swing it around like that. It's no wonder that when locked up bucks do break apart, if they've been going at it for a couple days, they have a pretty tough winter ahead of them. Patrick just keeps getting closer and closer for us. The buck is frantic. I mean, he wants to get away. Who knows how long they have been locked up? They probably overnight, Patrick felt. Here you can see the close-up. Look at the size of the antlers. The one buck's still doing the rope-a-dope technique. I think he's probably the older buck. He's already a little tired. I can relate. If I ever get in some kind of fight, that's what I'm going to do, is lay down and pretend I'm dead. Patrick's pushing him now. There, look, lifted right up. Now, Patrick told me he'd phoned from his cell phone. He'd phoned the conservation officers to tell him about these 2 locked up bucks. I mean, what does one guy do? He's getting closer, but at that point, what do you do? And you know, there's a bunch of guys you can pull out the chainsaw and try the roping them and cutting apart with a chainsaw. But when you're on your own, there's not much you can do. And as a guide, he's not allowed to have a gun along. You can't shoot an antler off, and you wouldn't hit an antler on these moving. Look at it, it's swinging all over the darn place. The one buck is still laying down, getting pulled across the field. He's either terribly exhausted, or else he's very intelligent in this fight. Patrick comes right in on him. Look, you can see a fork there. He's got a fork. Patrick informed me that these bucks, the one buck has a forked G2 and forked G3. It's a bit of a non-typical buck, and that may have contributed to their getting locked up in the first place. Yeah, he's right in on top of him. Look how close he is now. Look at how close. Hey, there's the other one now. He's up, and they're going to go at it again. Look at the power. Amazing. Now, watch this. Patrick's moving in. He's getting closer. These 2 huge trophy class. You can see the fork again. Two huge trophy class bucks. There's a standoff. And they're almost at energy. For sure, the one on the left is exhausted. Well, bang! Look at that. They're apart. And Patrick's running backwards. I would be too. Get out of there. You don't want to go in there and be a referee and try and pull them apart. This is the big one. See the forks? Fork G2 and fork G3. Long beams. He doesn't realize yet he's free, but he will. He's a typical whitetail buck. Look at him shaking his head. Yeah, he'll have a sore neck for a couple days, but Patrick informed me they never did see either one of these two bucks again for the rest of that season. And as far as he knows, no one ever did get one of these bucks in that country. And that's pretty typical of those big old smart ones. There goes the other one. They're heading opposite directions. I imagine they never want to see each other again. That was close enough for them. Fantastic footage. Really great, Patrick. Well, from those two men's type of buck, we're going to go to a ladies' man type of buck. This footage was sent in to us by Keith Updike from Maryland. And I got to tell you, it's kind of humorous. I'm not going to describe what's going on. You'll have to use your imagination, what little you need of it. This is late in the year. This buck is tending this doe once, twice, 3 times. We'll see how many times. Keith tells me he's got a brother, Will, and they hunt this big farm. His brother is in a wheelchair, though, and he can't come out. He can't see this kind of quality things in the outdoors because he's in a wheelchair. So Keith goes out with the camera and videos what he sees and then brings it back in to show his brother. And he was walking through the field to videotape for his brother one day, and he saw this ladies' man buck with a doe. I mean, look at her. The tail goes up. She's come hither, and away he goes. I mean, over and over and over again, this guy tends this doe. And February 10th, gosh, what was he doing at the peak of the rut, you got to wonder. Or what was she doing? I don't know how to describe this footage. Besides, I'm impressed personally. Okay, so maybe I'm not that impressed with this performance. Meanwhile, while all that lovin's going on in Maryland, though, we're going to go back up to Saskatchewan again. I don't know what these bucks up there do, but from this bit of footage sent in by Brandlin James, it appears that those Saskatchewan bucks start this fighting thing really early. Look at the one buck. He's got his hocks together, and the second one comes in. Now, I wouldn't call these exactly trophy bucks, but they sure figure they're pretty hot stuff. Look at he comes in behind, does the complete circle, gives a little jab to his buddy. Oh, yeah. See, look at the ears go back. Look at the ears. Yeah, no. He's not going to run away, but he's going to try and establish dominance. This is very unusual behavior to see this on camera. This is the start of a fight right from the very beginning to the end, as we'll see. Neither one's going to back off. Neither one will back off. Let's watch these. That one is barely above a spike horn. Here they go. They're going to come in, and at least they don't have to worry about locking antlers, but I'm sure they have to worry about poking their eyeballs out. Look, they're just kind of tinkling. You don't expect this type of action. You do expect to see once in a while the younger bucks tinkling their antlers together, but these two bucks, they get a little bit more serious here in a second. Look, the one's bigger. He's a forkhorn, but I think he's a little smaller in the body. Look, he's jabbing his buddy there. Well, if you want to start a fight, that's one way to do it, is just keep picking on somebody and pushing them, and you'll get what you asked for. It's starting to get a little more animated now. This is when their mother says, "You two cut it out, someone's going to get hurt." Look, now they're starting to put some weight behind it. These are young bucks, but up there, that doesn't mean small bucks. They'll weigh 175 pounds each, these young deer. They're probably a year and a half old, it looks like to me. Yeah, look at this. Now they're really going at it for two little bucks. Look how low they get. They're centered of gravity down so they can push the other one. They're going at this thing full blast. They're just listen. They're as serious about this fight as the big bucks are. And I mean, what are they going to win, for goodness sakes? The first big Saskatchewan buck that walks into the picture, both of these guys are out of there like a flash, if they've got any brains. So standoff here. You can see him breathing. This takes a lot of energy to do this. I wouldn't go in between that and try and referee this. And you gotta believe that those spikes, those little sharp spikes, have gotta be poking each other right all over the head and neck. Oh, look at that! He tipped him right over. Ha ha ha! Yeah, you win. Let's see which one won. Look at him coming into the side. Look at that! He's showing his whole body, wide body. Yeah, see the little forkhorn, the bigger antler's lost. Look at his ears back, coming in sideways. He's gonna chase his buddy off. Oh, that one that lost for the rest of his life is going to be having to run away from this big guy, because he will be a big boy. Now, where's he going to be in about 5 years from now? That's what I want to know. Fantastic footage, Brandlin. We really appreciate that. Very unusual footage.
Jim, that's some great footage right there, but I didn't know you had to take a chainsaw hunting with you all the time. That's unbelievable.
Isn't that something? How'd you like someone to take your glasses off with a chainsaw?
That is unbelievable right there. But you know what? Out of all that footage, what about the two little boys trying to, establish that dominance?
They start early, don't they?
They really do start early. Well, that was some good footage right there. What we got coming up now?
Well, we've got some unusual footage where we're going to be seeing a deer with long toenails, and that one you just got to see. You can't describe it. Right. Albino deer, a couple of monstrous big deer too. Probably one of the top two biggest non-typicals ever videoed. We've got on video from Illinois, and right off the bat we're going to go to Pittsburgh for some footage of a monstrous buck from the suburbs. A fellow videoed in his backyard.
Maybe we can hunt there next time?
Yeah, well, he only lets one person hunt there, Bill, sorry.
That's you and him.
Well, he's a non-hunter, so...
There you are.
That's exactly right.
Folks, let's take a look at all that great footage. I want to show you some other parts of the property around here. It really looks awesome around this corner.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. Just on the off chance that someday I may be able to hunt in this property, I'm not going to tell you the exact street address, but I will tell you it's a suburb of Pittsburgh. Look at this buck. He's got 2 extra beams coming off his left antler. A wild non-typical. Look at him. And he's at least a 7-pointer on his right antler. What a buck. This buck was filmed by Ron Keller. Ron's not a hunter. He tells me he was painting his garage the day this buck showed up. He was up on a stepladder. He saw the doe first, started to go down to get his camera, and then this buck walks out. He didn't know what to think. Now, as I said, he's not a hunter. And when he actually saw this buck making a scrape, the buck starts to paw the ground, and he thought that this buck might actually be wanting to charge him. Look at him paw the ground. Well, as hunters, we know he's making a scrape. There has to be a doe close by. Now, Ron tells me that there's a 50-acre wood patch close by, and he has never seen this buck before or after this particular day. No doubt, this buck probably lives in that 50-acre wood patch, sleeps all day long, and comes out about midnight to eat everybody's rose bushes. There's the reason that this buck is acting like he is right in the middle of the season. Always the case. Whenever us guys act dumb, it's because there's a pretty lady around. Look at that. There's his wood pile. The buck's right in his backyard. Wow, what a buck. And that's a once-in-a-lifetime view of a gigantic non-typical. Amazing footage. Thanks a lot, Ron. From Pittsburgh, we're heading out to southern Indiana. This footage was sent in by Rodney Craig. Now, Rodney lives in Florida, but his parents live in southern Indiana. And it was them who told him about a white deer they kept seeing in a soybean field not too far from their house, about a mile away. Rodney went out that summer. That was 97. He went out the summer of 97 to visit his parents and went by the soybean field. And sure enough, he saw an albino deer. But he didn't have his video camera that year. So fortunately for us, he went back in the summer of '98 and took his video camera. He set up on the exact same soybean field, and out came this albino doe. Now, obviously, this is a pretty rare thing, about 1 in a million. But what was really unusual for Rodney was a second albino deer came out. This one isn't a doe, it's actually a buck. In fact, it was a pair of fawns that was born in '97. So they're a year and a half old at this point when Rodney's taking this footage. Now I want you to look closely at this buck when he comes out. His antlers are pure white. That is bizarre. I mean, there isn't a black hair on this whole deer's body. Really unusual footage, and the amazing thing is, I mean, he tried to get them both on camera, which he couldn't do. He said one of them came out further down the field, the buck, and a little bit later, so he couldn't get the doe and the buck in the same frame for us. Too bad, but boy, I'll tell you what, this has got to be about as rare a footage as you will ever see. Thank you very much for that, Rodney. We really appreciate you sending that footage in for us. We're going back to Pennsylvania for the next bit of footage. This was sent in by Brian Faneri. And I'm not going to tell you what's odd about this deer quite yet. So let's see if you picked it up. Watch carefully, but don't look at the antlers this time. Look down, way down. Notice anything funny? That deer has super long toenails. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Ooh, you can see him running. Now the sad thing about it is this deer actually likely is in pain. I talked to a veterinarian, and he told me this is caused by, let's see if I can get this right, germinal epithelium is an overgrowth of the hyperketosis. How is that? It didn't make any sense to me either, and I'm sure I didn't translate it properly. What it means, just like us, deer have toenails that continue to grow. We cut ours, but deer rely on their walking on gravel, on ground, to wear their toes down. Look at this. All four of this poor little buck's toenails are boy, they look like they're 6 or 8 inches long. Apparently it is quite a painful thing and very rare in wild animals. This buck cannot go and cut his fingernails like you and I can. He's just going to have to suffer through it. But unusual footage? Oh yeah. Look at him. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And off he goes. Back into the monster bucks. And I mean monster bucks. This buck was filmed by Mark Wimpy in Illinois. I'm not going to mention the exact place. Again, there's no use getting 100,000 hunters showing up on this soybean field in 1 week. But I want you to look closely at these antlers. While you're looking at it, try and guess what this buck scores. I do have the exact score because this buck was killed by a hunter by the name of Kelly Riggs. And it was actually, the story was featured in the July 1997 issue of North American Whitetail. I want to look at this buck for a second. Look at the drop tines on him and the mass and the width. Apparently he had a 29-inch inside spread. Now, have you guessed what you think he scores? I'll tell you what he grosses right now. 230 5/8 Boone and Crockett points. He had 27 scoreable points on him. 2 drop tines on one side, 3 off the other beam. This buck ended up netting 214. 214 4/8. I mean, this is a buck of several lifetimes, so incredibly rare to see and get footage of. Apparently, too, this same year when this footage was taken, the buck had been hit by a car, was hit by a car later on, and Kelly did manage to arrow him during the hunting season. Oh, somebody get me a new heart. I tell you, but I know that Bill's listening, and if he's listening to this, then he'll be out there too. So that's the only reason I can't tell you. I'm trying to get permission there myself as usual. What a buck. Well, I've been doing a lot of talking, and this time I'm going to do a little more watching. This is a hunt sent in to us by Richie Bland. And although this buck isn't as big as one we just saw, he is in Illinois. Let's join Richie on this hunt on this quiet morning and watch what happens.
Meh, meh.
Perfect shot. That buck's not going to go very far.
I didn't think he was going to ever stop. He had some leaves on him. I had to lean out and my strap was grabbing me. Shot came out pretty good though. Like usual, they fall on camera. Great buck. Thanks.
Yeah, they don't always fall on camera, Richie. He's a happy hunter, and deservedly so. Now we're going down to Texas, to the Perlitz Ranch. This footage was sent in by Jimmy Perlitz. And I got to tell you that there's some showboaty people around, but I didn't realize just how badly some deer want to be on camera and become famous. I'll set the story up a little bit. One of the ways they scout down there is to set up a video camera on tripod. They'll corn these senderos, and the deer will come out. Now they don't want to stand around and wait, so they'll turn the camera on and let it shoot automatically. And this is what came out on this particular day. Now they don't know what's going to come out. They have to look at this footage later on. They must have been pretty impressed. Not only with the size of this buck coming towards the camera, the second one I'm talking about, but also his willingness to be captured on film forever. I'm not sure who to thank here, Jimmy or the buck. You'll see why. Just watch this. He's working his way closer and closer. Doesn't suspect a thing. You can start to see now just how big this buck is. Look at the junk on him. Looks like he's got a kicker off, a G2 for sure, and at least two splits on his major tines, and wide. Man, he's got to be close to 24 inches wide. Long beams here. Look at this. Look how close he is. Now we're really going to get an idea. You could darn near put a tape on this buck. Look at him come in. You think he suspects something? Look at this. What a picture of this buck. Now, he couldn't just, it's not enough to feed by the camera. This buck has to feed right up to the camera. And stare at us. It's like he's saying hello to all the Realtree viewers. Now he wants to come right in. I'm surprised he didn't knock this camera over. Look at it. And again, it's not good enough that we can only see one of his antlers. This buck is a natural-born show-off. He's thinking to himself, they can't see all of me. I got to help these guys out. I got to show them what they're missing down here on the Perlitz Ranch. By the way, I'm sure Bill's got that tripod blind in the background all tied up for next year. Look at this buck. There you go. That's better. Now we can see what he's really about. Now that's hilarious. That is, what kind of a deer does this? What kind of a buck stands there and poses for the camera? Well, I guess monster bucks down on the Perlis Ranch is the answer to that question. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be seeing Bill on that stand next year. What a shot. Fantastic. Bill, you've got some amazing land here. I mean, turkeys, deer, fabulous. Going to invite me hunting?
Yeah, 5,000 acres, and got 3 bass lakes on it, and we see a lot of deer and turkey on this place. But speaking of deer, that deer at the Perlis Ranch posed perfect for the camera.
Isn't that something?
That is a huge deer.
He not only posed, but he was off camera, came back on to make sure we could get a good look at him, judge him really well.
That's a good way to scout, isn't it? You don't even have to be there, just put your camera out.
Perfect.
You know, speaking of whitetails, that non-typical in Illinois, huge deer.
Tell me something, if that buck, 230, was walking across your land here, would I have permission to hunt here this year?
Only during hunting season.
Yeah.
No, I tell you, that is a huge deer right there. And speaking of huge deer, this next segment, please tell me we don't have any more whitetail. I want to see something different.
Your heart's...
My heart's going out of my chest right now.
Yeah, we're actually going to leave deer now, and we're going to look at some bear footage, some kind of frightening bear footage. I wouldn't have been in the fellow's shoes that videotaped it. The moose footage I talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. And right off the bat, we're going to see some turkey footage. Kind of a confused gobbler. You'll see what I mean.
Well, let's do this. Let's take a ride. I'll show you some other parts of the property, and you folks stay tuned. Let's watch this footage. Well, Jim, I have to say that this turkey definitely looks like a gobbler. But if you look closely, it's just a hen who thinks she's a he. Of course, we've never accused Jim of being a turkey expert, so we'll excuse him this time. And after all, where Jim lives in Canada, there aren't too many turkeys. This piece of rare and unique footage was sent in by Derek Fowler of Danville, Georgia. Derek is an avid outdoorsman and a member of our local pro staff. On this particular spring morning, Derek had been calling a turkey way off in the distance that has a strange gobble, and when he finally saw the turkey, he was shocked at what he saw. A hen that strutted and gobbled. Just check this out. Now, Derek had told us that he'd been working this turkey with a hen call, the same hen talk he used to bring in the big strutting toms. Obviously, this old girl was confused what her role was in the wild. Lucky for Derek that he had his video camera with him. Otherwise, I think he would have had a hard time convincing his buddies back at camp what actually happened. Derek, thanks for sending in this awesome piece of footage. And for Jim, maybe next time we can get him to go to a turkey seminar.
Isn't that something? Well, we go from a confused turkey to a big fat bear. And from the looks of this, a new paint job on this truck. Daniel Coulette from Maine sent this footage in. And from what I understand, they were sitting there eating their dinner and this came around the corner. Surprise. Yeah, go ahead. You can have my dinner. Listen to them.
Bon, leave it in this. My fault. Hey. Look at that.
Look at the Cool Whip on the bear's nose. I think maybe he should eat more spinach and less Cool Whip. You'll see why in a second here. He comes around the truck and tries to get back in. Look at him. Strong as he is, he's just not made for doing push-ups. Too much Cool Whip. Look at this. think so.
Can't do no pull-ups.
Yeah, I know how you feel there, big guy. I think right here he figures he's going to take a run at it. I'm sure Daniel at this point was thinking about running as well. Look at the pot belly on this guy. He definitely wants the rest of those chicken bones. Almost. That's great footage. Oh, thank you, Daniel, for sharing that footage with us. That was great. Well, we're going from funny fat bears to frightening bears. You saw the bow hunter just a second ago, and here's the bear below his stand. This footage was sent in by Richie Bland. And Richie was up in Saskatchewan hunting black bears. He'd taken one on this stand a few days before, but saw a bigger one. So he came back with his friend to sit on that same stand. And look at this. It's getting nice and close. Now this is funny, haha, when it's going up your buddy's stand. But it's not quite as funny when the bear notices you and starts coming over to your stand. Richie isn't armed. All he has is his camera. And he's shooting virtually straight down on this bear. Look at this. Hello. What's up this tree? Look at the bear coming up. Okay. Richie said at this point he was undoing his belt and he was going to jump. Look at the bear come up. Look at it. Amazing that he kept the camera running. Oh, look at that. He came right up at him. He said he slapped at his camera bag on the bottom of his stand. I mean, this bear is right at his feet. Before it changes its mind and goes back down. Richie said that they put vanilla extract on their boots when they walked into their stands this day. And I guess, in retrospect, a guy doesn't want to go up a tree smelling like he's an ice cream cone, does he? Haha, great footage. Well, that was frightening and kind of funny. This is terribly frightening, period. This footage was taken by Manny De Leon, and he was using a camera given to him by Roy Dickerson. They were down in Texas hunting nilgai. And Manny wasn't a hunter. He just went along to video, help with the stands, that kind of thing. And he went to a particular stand to see what would come into the watering hole. And this is what came in. Look at this. This is a coyote. Now, obviously, there's something a little strange about this coyote. And Manny had this figured out, but look at him coming towards you now. You've heard about mad dogs. Well, this coyote, if you see this look, you want to be real suspicious. And this gets real spooky here in a second. Manny's videoing this coyote coming towards him. Look at it. It's obviously in pretty rough shape. And the coyote spots him. See him looking now. Now watch this. He doesn't run away like a normal coyote would. He starts circling around and getting closer. Here he comes. Look at this. Look at this. Right at him. This coyote is a very sick animal. Manny, at this point, has to be frightened. Watch what happens. It gets scarier right now. Unbelievable. The coyote, Manny was so lucky. The coyote went in and grabbed the camera bag. He's lucky it didn't bite him. Listen to what he has to say now.
See him? Hey, coyote. Look at him. He's waiting for me, and I can't get out of this tree.
Manny's trapped up in the tree and knows he can't get back to the lodge with this rabid coyote standing there. In fact, he did get back just before dark, and it was a rabid coyote. The lodge owner killed it, and they tested it a day later. Listen to him.
Hickey's the one that bit old Yeller, I ain't sure.
He thought it was the coyote that killed old Yeller, and he was right. This is a rabid coyote. Scary footage. From the deserts of Texas, we're headed up to the mountains of Alberta, and we're going to be looking for one of the toughest big game animals in North America to hunt. And add to that trying to video. If you can do that, you've really done something pretty special. Now, you might remember Ken Kitzman from our video last year. He had two segments in that video. One was the wolves that surrounded him and his hunter. The second segment was the bighorn rams fighting, the group of bighorn rams, and the pretty girl went by them. They were butting heads for a good 3 or 4 minutes. This year, Ken sent us footage of guiding for these bighorn rams. He's got a hunter, Ken Wright, with him on this hunt. This was videoed in 1998 in Alberta while Ken was guiding for Charlie Stricker of Stricker Outfitting. Alberta is known for some of the biggest bighorns. In fact, the world's record comes out of Alberta, and every year there's some tremendous rams taken. Ken Wright obviously knew this when he booked the hunt, and he obviously knew that Ken is a true professional guide for these rare animals. One thing I didn't know, Ken explained to me, if you look closely at this ram, he's rubbing the tree. I didn't realize that bighorn hunting could be so similar to whitetail hunting. See him rubbing that tree? That's the same thing a whitetail does. Ken told me they saw these rams the day before together in this group, so he went up this day and took a pair of 2x4s with him and was smacking them together to sound like rams fighting. I guess that's the bighorn version of rattling. Anyway, it worked. They got close enough to these rams and worked their way closer and closer. Let's pick up this hunt right now. They're getting awful close. They're waiting for the ram to turn broadside. You're going to get one chance at this kind of a ram in your life. There comes the bow. Canting to the right. What's that? Looks good. Perfect shot. Let's take another look at that. This ram didn't know, he didn't even know he was hit. Beautiful shot.
Nice ram, partner.
Nice ram. He's broomed on both sides.
Nice weight, nice character ram. How many yard shot?
30-yard shot.
Yeah.
We moved up on him. So 2 other rams. One was legal. I don't think the other one was.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's broomed on both sides. It's real nice, heavy. It's a beautiful ram.
Good 16-inch base, 16 and a quarter. The other one 16 as well.
Great ram, and now great moose. We've seen all the whitetail footage of the big bucks fighting and locked up. Now we've got 2 bull moose fighting. This footage was sent in by Scott Ebert out of Fort St. John, British Columbia. Both of these bulls are in the 50-inch class range, and again, unusual to see 2 bulls fighting. But this footage, just I can't describe it. Watch for yourself. It gets way better. That's Scott's brother. His name is Shane, and he's after his first moose with a bow and arrow. We talked earlier about being a referee in one of these fights. I don't think you couldn't get me that close, not even with a big rifle. There goes one arrow. He hits the bull really good.
Weir, get ready with that gun, man. He's crazy. He's been like 10 yards from him.
He's dead. He's dead. That moose is dead.
The bull doesn't care. He's fighting. He's so hyped up with adrenaline. He doesn't pay any attention. He's got an arrow sticking right through his lungs.
Right here, Shane.
He's got one arrow.
Listen to his brother talking.
Shane, you're crazy. You're an idiot.
Don't shoot.
I've never seen anything like this.
He's gone.
There goes another arrow. The bull is dead. He doesn't even
Shane,
know it. He's
get
still
down.
fighting.
Run right over you.
Ask yourself,
dead,
have
don't
you
worry,
ever
he's
seen
dead.
anything like this on video before?
If he charges, you shoot that cunt right now. They're Shane, you don't need another arrow. He's dead.
I don't know if it gets any better than this. We'll see. We'll be doing another video next year. But I've never seen anything like this.
These things are in rut, man, to let a guy stand there like that.
Here the bull's starting to weaken. And the one that's still in good shape goes after him, pushes him right into the bush.
Well, I gotta tell you, I never seen anybody so stupid in my life, but he got a moose. Is this guy right here.
Luke, warm
There's still a cow and another bigger bull here, too.
I think he's down now.
You got your hat? He's down. Do you got your hat, Shane?
Shane has his bull.
Nice moose, Shane. Way to go, buddy. Way to go. Three on this side and 3 on the other. He'll be Pope and Young, Shane. You got yourself a Pope and Young moose.
150, eh?
Yeah. You got yourself a Pope and Young moose.
Now that's what I call 2 big moose. That was incredible.
Yeah, frightening. Can you imagine walking right up to them like that with a bow and arrow only?
Well, I tell you what, just getting that close, and not only did we have the bow hunter, but we had that guy running the camera. I think I'd have been a little nervous.
Yeah, well, that's right. I think they had a gun sitting back by the camera. He wasn't quite as concerned.
I tell you, it was great footage, but you know, all that footage was good. The bears, a little scary moment for that cameraman right there.
Yeah, can you imagine? I mean, like I said, it's funny, haha, when it's going up your buddy's tree, but when it's coming up your own tree, it's not quite as funny anymore.
Not quite as funny. You know, that's some great footage right there. I think that goes to prove those people out in the field. You know, we talk about we spend a lot of time out in the field, but you can't get that kind of footage, you know, unless you just got that many cameras running.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of hunters out there with their cameras taking that kind of home video footage. Otherwise, you'll never get it.
Well, I can't wait to do this again. And folks, what we want to do, we want to thank everybody that's sending this footage for this video this time. And, you know, we'd like to encourage all of you, when you have an opportunity, take that camera with you, and if you get that footage, we're going to have a telephone number and address coming up shortly after the video, so please just give us a call or write us, and we'd love to see that footage and share it with our viewers. But Jim, thanks once again, and let's do it again sometime.
My pleasure, and maybe I can go try some of this fishing for those.
Well, I got the rod and reels right here. We'll slip out the lake here in just a minute. Folks, I want to thank you for joining us today and buying our videos. You know, we have a great time putting these videos together, and special thanks to Jim Shockey. But as I always say, when you have an opportunity, take a child to the outdoors and get them involved. For Jim Shockey, I'm Bill Jordan, and we hope to see you next time for more videos from Realtree Outdoor Productions. We have the rod. We're going to see if you can fish it all. These are bass out here, not walleye, whatever else you got up there.
Your rod?
Well, the one you already messed up.
The one I already crow's nested?
If you would like to provide us with your copies of unusual or unique home videos, mail them to Realtree's Home Videos, 1390 Box Circle, Columbus, Georgia, 31907.
Hunt with Jim Shockey for giant Canadian whitetails. Canadian Whitetail Adventures Limited is Jim's exclusive hunting territory in the undisputed hotspot for big bucks, Saskatchewan. Superior genetics and great forage combine to produce truly amazing whitetails. Stay in comfortable cabins and enjoy delicious home cooking while experiencing the trophy whitetail hunt of a lifetime. Black bear. Pacific Rim Outfitters puts you in some of the best black bear territory in North America. On Vancouver Island for truly giant black bear, and in Saskatchewan for huge bear, including a good number of color phase animals. If you dream of taking a trophy black bear, Pacific Rim Outfitters can help you make that dream a reality. Jim Shockey's Canadian Whitetail Adventures, and Pacific Rim Outfitters. To book your hunt or for more information, call today.